This is Jim Sawyer for capitalismandcrisis.org. In our last installment, the university's president recruited Adam and Joan to redesign MiddleNet's MBA program. Next, however, they were sidetracked by an urgent White House plea to return to Washington, D.C. What should the zombies do? Well, stiff the White House, they decide. So Adam deploys a bogus press leak targeting Mooch, Trump's communications director, allegedly for being too chummy with, you guessed it, zombies. Next, the right-wing blogosphere ignites around a pernicious rumor. Soon, zombies will be running the entire government, it claims. Subsequently, the outrageous Mooch resigns in disgrace, freeing Adam and Joan to accept MiddleNet jobs. First, the zombies detour to Middle America to attend a concert by Kid Rock. His groupies are enticed also by rumors he might challenge and even defeat liberal Michigan Senator Debbie Stabenow. More than music, however, Adam and Joan are interested in interviews with right-wing concertgoers, perhaps for a forthcoming TV special on American exceptionalism. Especially the zombies are intrigued by so-called POTUS shield folks who believe Donald Trump is anointed to save America first by trashing it. Their prayers shield Trump, enabling him to continue a divinely inspired work, they believe, eventually returning the United States to prior Christian nation status. Post-concert, Kid Rock style, the zombies reflect with queasiness on the state of Trump's America as they return to MiddleNet and then lead a focus group of MBA alums. Joan speaks. Okay, listen up, you profit maximizers, she challenges. Are you investing to serve the common good as well? Or is your strategy merely to amass wealth quickly, regardless of consequences? Perhaps are some of your dollars receiving high returns from bunco schemes, even defrauding seniors of their savings or worse? Then Adam describes in 19th century terms what it means to live over the store. If you're not doing the contemporary equivalent, he emphasizes, then maybe you're not a capitalist, because capitalists conserve capital, conserve the factory, the workforce, the plow horse in the field. Following a pleasant break for an aperitif with brie accompaniments, Robinson tackles wide divergence between how ideologues think the economic world should work versus how in actuality it has come to work. Specifically, she addresses two aspects: the enumeration of capital and the profit lacuna. Before Robinson can elaborate, however, POTUS shielders who follow the zombies to campus commandeer the event, protesting the group's brie break deemed by them much too politically correct, and then conscripting attendees to participate in our prayer vigil evangelizing the political priorities of Donald Trump. Responding, Joan calls another break, then directs invitees to reconvene in a space where POTUS shielders are unlikely to go, the Campus Women's Center. Once resettled, Robinson continues, context is all important, she emphasizes, as she sketches briefly the pseudo-capitalist problems of fraud, rigging, and gaming, alongside possible policy responses. More detail to follow in subsequent sessions, she promises. Ultimately, however, today's event is destined to end on a disquieting note. What if, Robinson asks rhetorically, democratic capitalism has hit the wall? What if, absent prospects for respectful collaboration among society's competing factions, the way forward is mediocrity or worse? Since the way the economy works and changes, updates are necessary occasionally to realign with reality, the roadmap used by academic economists, elected officials, and others. Laissez-faire's earliest roadmap, of course, was based on barter. Initially, it served well, but eventually, however, following the Civil War, firms required something more sophisticated, a roadmap reflective of actual business practices. For instance, relying upon barter, how could a farm's worth, or if you will, the worth of any firm, be calculated? Whereas there is no common denominator in physical terms for a horse, a barn, and a plow, through finance, their values can be merged. But there is an unintended consequence. The use value of each asset becomes obscured. No longer is the question of asset productivity primal. Instead, the prevailing question becomes one that is finance-oriented. How to place or invest each dollar efficiently. Again, context cannot be ignored. In decades following the Civil War, context was a shared national vision of improvement in the standard of living, expressed by President Herbert Hoover during the 1920s. A commonly held vision was what he called a chicken in every pot. No longer. Hoover's insight is replaced a century later by a plethora of often competing views about what constitutes the way forward for America's economy, for American society. Some visions embody public as opposed to private priorities, such as environmental, generational, or racial stewardship, and on and on. So here's the key point connecting to the profit lacuna. Lacking any clear doctrine about the rate of profit, about what the extra reward to capitalist and capital shall be, and amid innovative surges in finance and technology, the groundwork for an explosion of pseudo-capitalism is set. It is now feasible for riggers and gamers to move into this void, claiming what had been a capitalist reward, but without exchanging it for social assurances. The outcomes they deliver are consonant with the common good. Indeed, who can even say what the common good may be? Contemporary capitalism then requires redefinition. Only then can tax, regulatory, and other incentives and disincentives be applied and calibrated rationally. This is the contemporary juncture between economics and politics. Context no longer is a chicken in every pot. Now, before assets can be declared with confidence to be capital or not, their productivity, or lack of it, must be measured against a widely shared vision of the common good. The contemporary economy has become a perilous challenge. For the zombies charged with finding a way forward for the MiddleNet MBA program, their task cannot be solved in isolation. Instead, it must be preceded by the social determination of incentives, tax and regulation incentives included, and preceded again by a commonly held vision of what society wants or what our common future shall be going forward.